you led the digital transformation of HPCL's board and CFD meeting processes long before digital governance became a buzzword.
Digitisation is always a boon because being the company secretary, you're a conscious, keeper, and you have to keep all your records intact.
How did this your learning to Vedas and Carnatic music helps in your career?
Spirituality helps you keep your mind in a peaceful manner and also ensure that you do your assigned jobs, you do your things in a passionate way. It always gives you a lot of energy.
What does it really take to succeed in such a dynamic, high-stakes ecosystem?
It's basically winning the trust and confidence.
Which moment felt the most defining or challenging to you?
In the corporate arena, I will say that everything is challenging.
We have heard that you are an amazing singer.
Dasaradanandana Ram Ram Daya Shagara Ram Ram.
Hello and welcome to HP Unplugged, where we spotlight leaders who lead with integrity, quiet excellence, and a profound sense of purpose. In this episode, we engage with Shri V Murali, the esteemed company secretary, HPCL. From his early days as an HR assistant, Mr. Murali has evolved into a visionary custodian of corporate governance, playing a pivotal role in HPCL's maiden public issue and championing the comprehensive digitization of its boardroom operations. With a career spanning over 3 decades, Shri Murali's journeys reflect unwavering dedication to transparency, ethical leadership, and continuous learning. His stewardship has helped HPCL earn accolades in corporate governance from leading institutions in recent years. Join us as we explore the remarkable trajectory of Shri V Murali from HR beginnings to shaping one of India's most respected voices in compliance and purpose-driven leadership. Hello sir, welcome to HP Unplugged. We are truly privileged to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Suresh. Thanks for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're looking forward for this conversation, sir, and I'm pretty sure that all our viewers, they are truly in for this insightful experience of yours.
Yes.
Sir, talking about your journey with HPCL, it's almost been 36 years. You had started your career with HR department of South Zone, and then you shifted to company secretariat in 1995. Since then, you have worked with 9 senior MDs, different functional directors, independent directors, and many more leaders. Sir, could you please share your experience with HPCL in all these years?
Yes. HPCL, I'll say it's a very great learning organization. Be it HR, be it finance, be it company secretary. More so in the company secretary because you are privy to all meetings and where you deal with senior management. So it's always an opportunity to learn many things because every leader is unique by their styles. And they're functioning by virtue of their background, by virtue of their qualifications, by virtue of their experience. So it's really a great thing to learn many things. So we always say people outside will look upon you because you being the conduit point. So not everyone will have an opportunity to report to such a higher management. So always people will look upon you. What is this? So basic thing is you have a helping role also to play in that. And second is when you deal with such level of management, you should always be meticulous in your job. And the company secretary role is one where you are a compliance officer and you are the image of the corporation and you are the connect for the outside world. So many times, even if you see because even basic something a banker wants or anyone wants, so the company secretary is looked upon, so you are the signing authority. So one has to be very, very meticulous because any mistake anywhere you do will land you in a situation where the top management will get the notice for that. So one has to be very, very meticulous in their approach. And yes, during this journey of 36 years, there were a lot of ups and downs. There are many things which were evolving, right? So today there are many things like fall of the hat. There are public issues. There are companies coming out with bonus shares, right shares. So in those days, we were the first PSU to come out with, I think we came out with the decision first, and followed by that we had the first, PSU to have a public issue. So really what happened was there were many things which are not in place, right? So they were evolving. So one has to, in an evolving thing, one has to always be on run, to learn things quickly and get it implemented. So on the whole, I will say it was really a very great experience. Okay, and I will say that HPCL, we always have the informal culture. So the thing is, you can approach anyone because people are easily approachable, whatever levels. When I came to this department somewhere in 1995 and as an A-grade officer, still we have some connect with, though I may not be directly reporting to the CNMDs then, right? So but still you have a connect with all of them because their styles of functioning had a great impact on the department. And on the whole, it helped me to learn a lot and give my best things, and in terms of without diluting the processes and procedures, helping people in the sense that because this is the highest forum, apex level forum in the organization. So what really happens there is, for any approval, right, other than the delegated authorities, you always come to the board, you always come to the CFT. Okay, so now you can always take a stand that fine, I go by the rule book, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, but I don't believe in that, because end of the day, if somebody is looking upon you, and also as an organization, so your role is that how effectively you communicate the decisions, right? So you can always keep things, you can always slow down, you can always delay. Typical of those, I don't see any difference between in a private sector working and a public sector working. This is my thought right from the beginning. So I used to always be on the run. So now the thing is, so there's nothing, it has to happen. It has to happen. I mean that's the approach. So that really helped me in terms of learning more things and also getting more and more work, and in the process again learning. So that's how I'll conclude, Suresh. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a great answer. And I must say that you rightly said that in your job, in your position, you have to be meticulous, because people come with questions and they are expecting for answers. And somebody who cannot go straight up to the top, they'll come to you and they'll be looking for some answers and some resolution out of the situation. So yeah, sir. Thank you so much. So moving ahead to the next question. Sir, there is a book called Drive by Daniel Pink that speaks about intrinsic motivation. The idea that true drive comes from a desire to learn, grow, and master one's craft. Your journey is a remarkable example. From MCOM to ICWAI, company secretary, law, and even Vedic studies. What kept you so consistently motivated to learn, even when there were no direct incentives? And how did this mindset shape your growth at HPCL?
Basically, from the younger days, I'm a multitasker. Okay, I used to think, where did I get this from? Okay, so I've seen my mother, in my younger ages, because juggling with various things, I used to always wonder, how is she managing? I think this quality, as I got imbibed, this quality has come in me. So basically, I'm also a self-motivator. I need not, and my quest for acquiring qualifications, or my career-oriented approach, or my perfectionist approach, all these things really helped to do this. As I said, when I joined in the HR department of HPCL, I was postgraduate in commerce and an intermediate in cost accounting. But really, when I said fine, so when I'm in HR department, I have to learn something in HR. So I've just enrolled for some HR qualifications. Okay. So now in the process, I've also enrolled for CS, right? So I'm not at that point in time, I've chosen that I have to become a CS and things like that. So I've done CS also at that point in time. So now what really happens is so this quest for knowledge or learning, right? If I see somebody who is good in something, I always take that as an inspiration. When that guy is able to do, why not me? Okay, unless it is a great technical subject or it's a rocket science, one should always have that so this will keep you going in a good state, and also try to improve, increase your knowledge base.
Yeah.
So these are all the things which really motivated at that point in time. So now qualification, having all this, I always feel that there's a corporate world, right, where you'll work, you get your experience, and there's a classroom where you will go and you this. So what really happens is there are many things that you'll learn in that. So this thought process always has shaped me. That fine, I mean at some point in time that I should keep on doing something. And the second thing is always you have childhood dreams, right? I wanted to become this, I wanted to become that, but for various reasons I could not, I was not able to do that at that point in time. So that also made me that fine, I should do. So I believe in one thing, that corporate knowledge what you get, like because by virtue of your experience coupled with your academics will always help you definitely, like in some way or the other, in some point. Like, so when I did my finance, when I got in here, so fine, then I chosen CS as a career. So then I thought, fine, see, if I have a finance qualification tomorrow, so I can also interpret the financial things in a much better way. So fine, so let me do finance. So later, like because always the CS is associated with the law, legal, right? So why not me doing LLB? Fine, so basic thing is maybe all these things, qualifications would not have helped at one point in time, but always this comes very handy at different situations when the opponent is talking to you. Because we being in this, so I always call, we should be jack of all trades, because that is very, very important. As I see, like when I sit in the meeting, there are many technical things do come. So when somebody talks something, when somebody this, how will you understand and appreciate things? You may not be understanding every technicalities. Correct. But so the quest for knowledge, the quest for acquiring more and more things, came out of that. So the Vedic thing is also an extension to that. Okay, so now I felt suddenly, like because somebody told that why not join for these classes. So the moment I started for doing my Vedic things, I felt there is some a sort of the extension of whatever I've done in my academics. So I said I should excel in that also. So that's how it shaped up the whole thing, right?
In fact, sir, I was about to ask you the same question. My next question was on the same grounds, that we have heard about your likings, to learn the Vedas and Carnatic music. So how have your spiritual and artistic pursuits helped you as a leader? Especially in moments of complexity, stress, or decision making. How did this your learning to Vedas and Carnatic music, helps in your career?
While in the corporate, you always run to achieve your corporate targets, corporate goals. That is one part of it, right? This learning this Vedas or learning, you should always have a pastime activity with you. Right, somehow, as I said, I was trying to, keep my, leg in many things. Like, I have to learn this, learn that. So, basically, in South, if you see, like, a guy, in the school days, they'll be put in, they'll be put in, some music class, they'll be put in this. That's how, I have also enrolled for my music and all those things. Okay, so Veda is a very, very later thing, like, because in a much later period. So what really happened was, this is something, you always, even there, you should have a competitive mind. When you go for some, some competition, some these, that's how, I started developing interest in music, right? But somehow, I have to abruptly cut that because, in the later period, when I have to, go for higher studies and when I have to do my evening colleges, and also it was clashing with with these classes, so I have to leave those things. But somehow, at the corner of my mind, these things always remain. So now the thing is, since you have a basic knowledge about, Carnatic, basic knowledge this, so the thing is, see, at times of stress, at times of, difficulties, see, every day is not the same day. So you'll have always ups and downs. You'll have many things. So now what happens is, listening to music, it'll be a great, solace. Okay. And second is even this Vedic thing, from my experience, I tell that, everyone has to practice in their own way the spirituality what they believe, because spirituality helps you keep your mind in a peaceful manner and also ensure that you do your assigned jobs, you do your things in a passionate way, and also without attaching too much of importance to to the outcomes. It always gives you a lot of energy, like and in the process what happens is you never know what is your energy levels, right? So now that really helps you. Okay, so now if that is helping you, and if it is that, why not do that, right? Yeah. So that's how I have done all these things, and it is helping me a lot, actually. Not only in my own continuing my passions, but also in discharging my responsibilities in the official capacity.
I think in a way it keeps you disciplined, it keeps you composed, and it keeps you moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Coming to the next question, so you have been a part of landmark events from HPCL's public issue and bonus shares to the buyback and even the ONGC transaction. Among these, which moment felt the most defining or challenging to you, and what lessons did it leave behind?
In the corporate arena, I will say that everything is challenging, because whatever you said right now, a public issue or a disinvestment, or even I call for feature of shares. So as I said earlier, these things were evolving. So being a PSU for the first time, these type of things were always a new thing to all of us. Okay, so now because there's no, see, one is the law. You have a law. Okay, you can interpret the law and you can do things. That's one. For many of those things, there are no clear-cut, regulation. You have to read between lines, you call it, right? Mm-hmm. So one has to read that, one has to understand that. So if you have somebody because in your PSU environment who has done this, fine, you can always, at least approach them. How did you do this? What did you do this? So it's not like that. So here, though, when you're doing for the first time, so then you'll have to, depend on many other, supports. Okay. So this is one aspect, which is very important. Second is, being a compliance guy. Okay. So I said you're the image of the, company. Okay, so now, and head of investor relations, what really happens is, you have to take care of the interests of the shareholders also. Yes. The shareholders are the important stakeholders in an organization. Correct. Okay, while there are other stakeholders, shareholders are also very important, stakeholders in an organization. So now, what really happens is, here, how will you, proactively do things? Okay, so now if something comes to you, you take action. Something like you plan and do proactively. So going by this, every step is a challenging step, but fine. I mean, you cannot be, sitting, fine, yeah, this is challenging, I'm not able to, you're not able to. So it's not like that. Okay, so now I touched upon public issue. I touched upon, even for feature of shares, we are the first one to do. Then we had a buyback of shares. We are the first PSU to come out with buyback of shares, right? So now, basic thing is, so we were learning.
ONGC transaction.
ONGC transaction was really a very important thing, which happened in, 2018, right? So suddenly, when the government has decided to, offload their stake to ONGC, what really happened there is that, fine, again, so there are not many things, like while certain rules, regulations, laws are there actually, so not everything is written in the law. So now how will you, when something comes, when somebody says this has to be followed, the other side says no, this has to be followed this way. So where you lean upon, right? Who will guide you on that? Correct. Okay. So now that was a big challenge, especially I will say that, when the ONGC transaction took place, or initial period because government is the, basically government is, holding stake in ONGC. Right now, government is controlling HPCL through ONGC. Okay, so now when the ONGC transaction took place, they say this company's identity, cultural identity, will be kept intact. So now the question is, should I recognize, ONGC as a promoter or not? Because there are divergent views. Because as many laws of the land, as many things, in different. I mean, there's something called, SEBI listing regulation. There's something called Companies Act. There's something called DP guidelines. Each one, there are certain, sometimes, there are certain, contradictions in that also. But then the lawmaking authorities, once they know that, they bring this, to in sync. But as on that day, when something is happening, so what is happening? I mean, whether you have to, whether they are promoters or not. This question came. So there's one view that, yeah, they're not promoters. There's one view, no, they are promoters. Because being a, a leading organization, ONGC, now we need to be clear as to what we have to do. So then, fine. I mean, so then what I did is I proactively coordinated with, the regulatory guys also, the SEBI, stock exchange. Everyone will, will interpret what is there in the book. But now getting into sort of, an answers to a particular thing, it was very, very difficult. Okay, so now somehow, yes, you have to count 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, 2 + 2 is, I mean, so that's how somehow, we could, finally, resolve that, right? I mean, there's some, difference.
You always need a rational mind to, take decisions on these kind of serious matters.
Absolutely. And also, when we amended our object class to memorandum, because we wanted to, give, bring in a lot of, business activities in that. And that was a big challenge, because normally when you do these type of things, you do it once in 10 years, once in 12 years. I mean, it's not that every year you go, because this requires the approval of the shareholders also.
Correct.
Okay, so now there what happens is that you cannot go to the shareholders every year. So when you do that, you bring in many type of businesses. So there was always this, like, in my objects, like, though I was doing upstream things and all, even from 95 onwards, because we have a subsidiary company called Price Petroleum. Suddenly when they saw this upstream in that, so are you guys getting into upstream? So now the thing is, so it took time for them to see. In this experience, I will say everyone is right in their own way. Okay, so end of the day, you have to definitely convince them why you're doing what you're doing. That really helps you taking things forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that genuine response for that question. Sir, coming to the next question, you led the digital transformation of HPCL's board and CFD meeting processes long before digital governance became a buzzword. What inspired that shift, and how did you bring others along in embracing such a cultural and operational change?
Digitization is always a boon, right? Because for our operations, because being the company secretary, you're a conscious keeper, and you have to keep all your records intact. Okay, so now though there is certain applicability of the record keeping for different number of years for certain things, certain of the corporate records, it will be starting when the company starts, and it will remain with the company, and it will die when the company goes. So now, considering this importance, digitization is a very important aspect. Okay, digitization again, I can say it evolved over the last 5, 7, 8 years. I mean, as far as our department goes. Okay, so now the challenge was that people are very comfortable with a paper environment. Okay? People are used to seeing papers. People are used to seeing even when you circulate a proposal, people will mark in the pen. I mean, I want to ask this in the meeting. I want to do this. I want to do that. But now suddenly, changing that, it involved a lot of efforts to change the mindset. Okay, so mindset mein kya hai? You have to give them the comfort. You have to give them the proper training, saying that see, this is not something like what you're practicing even in a paper, you can do that in a digitization also. So now, so that took a lot of efforts, because initially there were a lot of especially in the boardroom activities, when everything is digitized. So like the people will be provided with an iPad, all the proposals, everything will be uploaded in the iPad. Whatever comments they wanted to write and keep, what they wanted to talk in the meeting, everything is there in the in the iPad only.
The iPad only.
Yeah, the iPad. Now bringing that contrary to what you are having paperwork, like the way you write and things like that, was really a big challenge. But yes, initially we had some problem for 5-6 months in terms of bringing that. So what we did was we said parallelly, let me give the physical copy also, let me do the digitization also. So now, both these things worked for some time. And slowly they started getting the comfort on seeing things, and then they also started appreciating, fine here, I need not carry a big folders and things like that. One like a laptop, one iPad, if I carry, that is having everything. I mean, why should I use the voluminous physical documents and all those things? So fine. So slowly that the change the change happened, and fine, within 5-6 months everyone was comfortable. So that's how. That is as far as the board meetings and committee meetings and all those things. Now coming back to, see, we as an organization, we are when stand back in 1952 versus your SO Caltex merger, then baad mein HPCL in 1974. So you have lot many records actually. Now what is going to happen is which record when you require for reference, no one knows. So I took that as a task to myself, that I need to definitely digitize all these documents, because at some point in time, whether in your career, whether you're in this and later years, anyone who is using it, and it's going to be very helpful, because they can always refer the trail of things. When some proposal comes, it's maybe some proposals may be a unique proposal, some proposal has some backgrounds. So what happens is people do refer that. I mean, what was the decision taken there? What was the what is the directions given there? So now I said, this is something which we need to do, okay, because it's going to help all of us in the long run. So we started that process. So I'm happy to say that we were able to do that till maybe up to 1970s, right? So now my task is like because in those days even the not be you have proper minute books and all will be written registers and things like that. I think now I'm working on all those things to bring that also digitized, so that you'll have all all the records in one place, which is digitized, which will be for ease of reference, and one can have access to that in a very easy manner. That's how I'll conclude. It was a challenge, but yes, we could overcome that, and we did it. And we did planning. Of course, it took some time, but now I'm happy that things have settled. Now everyone is into digital mode only, right?
Correct,
so that's
correct.
how.
And so coming with a different idea, it's a complete taboo, and nobody knows it, nobody tried it. But coming to the idea and going ahead with it and make it normalized, as you said correctly, that these days is pretty normalized. These days we are into that. But yeah, you started that thing, and today we are completely normalized that. Correct, sir. So corporate compliance often sounds like a rule book. But your role involved dealing with people like directors, ministers, shareholders, auditors. What does it really take to succeed in such a dynamic, high-stakes ecosystem? And how do you balance firmness with trust?
It's basically winning the trust and confidence, right? That is very, very important. Okay, so that will not come overnight, right? As you deal with people, as you do things, things one after other, people will always develop confidence in you. Okay, and winning the confidence involves not only that, and you should also have a passion and a proactive approach. Okay, everyone wants things as of yesterday. So now if you say, okay, fine, I will do this now, I'll do later, so people will not appreciate that. So my basic nature help me in doing that, because I'm always a proactive guy. Now I never wait for tomorrow's. I will do work as if the world is going to come to an end today evening. So that type of an approach. And sometimes the nature is also such slightly impulsive. So I cannot. So now what really happens is so now people there will always be situations where somebody asking something like because the next minute they'll be getting. So now that really helped in winning the trust. The trust, how you'll get the trust, because when you're able to satisfy them. So being here, when you deal with boards which comprises of outside directors, independent directors, and government directors, so everyone as a human, what they expect you is that how is this guy, what is his reflex action, how is he responding to things, how true he is, what so people will judge you. So for my type of thing, though I'm a compliance guy, I should also be an HR guy. Why I'm telling HR? Because the thing is, you should have that type of an approach. That is one. Second is company secretaries are key managerial personnel. Okay, so the outside world look upon you also. So the thing is, so you have to play, and there are certain duties put on you as a KMP. So you will have to follow all those things. Plus, these two things help. And the third thing I will say is that compliance, because you're a compliance officer. You're a chief compliance officer, but compliance should always aid business. Okay, so there'll be various business requirements. If I, as a compliance guy, I go and say that this is not possible, this rule is not allowing that rule is not allowing that is not what the management expects from you. Right? What the management expects from you is that yes, there are all these rules and regulations are there. How best you can interpret these rules and regulations without dilution, without without diluting the process, and how best you can take forward the business. So these things really do help, and in the process now you'll always develop good relationship, and your wavelength and your this will be established, which will help you in taking the the organization goals forward. That's what I'll say. Right?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for answering with such clarity. Yeah. Okay, so coming to the next thing, sir. We have heard that you are an amazing singer, and you have such a great voice. So, sir, I would deeply request you to sing it for us, and let the viewers also listen to your voice in your song. Any song of your liking, sir.
So since there is a request from you, I'll keep it very small, right?
Yes,
so it's not like I'll not go into a song which will be a longer thing. So I'll just sing a song.
Sure, sir.
A smaller one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Dasarada Nandana Rama Ram Daya Shagara Rama Ram Dasarada Nandana Rama Ram Daya Shagara Rama Ram Pashupati Nandana Rama Ram Papa Vimochana Rama Ram Pashupati Nandana Rama Ram पाप विमोचन राम राम, लक्ष्मण सेवित राम राम, लक्ष्मी मनोहर राम राम, लक्ष्मण सेवित राम राम, लक्ष्मी मनोहर राम राम, सूक्ष्म स्वरूप राम राम, सुंदर वदना राम राम, दशरथ नंदन राम राम, दया सागर राम राम.
Thank you so much, sir. That was such a lovely song, and we truly have enjoyed it. I mean, myself at the studio and our viewers, at their screens, we have completely enjoyed your performance. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you once again for the opportunity, and it was really a great experience. I mean, I also, really loved this. I mean, thanks a lot. Thank you once again. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shri V Murali, for sharing your incredible journey and insights with us. Your story is a powerful reminder that excellence is built on discipline and that quiet leadership often has the deepest impact. Whether it's through rigorous compliances, thoughtful coordination, or tireless learning, you have helped shape HPCL's corporate foundation for generations to come. This was HP Unplugged. Until next time, let's keep growing with integrity, acting with clarity, and leading with purpose. Jai Hind.